Good morning. It's Thursday, January 25th, 2024, and my name is Winifred Webo, your host on Inside Nigeria. Inside Nigeria is a breakfast show where we review and discuss front page headline stories of some select national newspapers. And of course, I have an array of newspapers on my table for review this morning. Talking of Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Daily Sun, The Guardian, and The Punch. So in this first segment on the program, we kick off with leadership. Leadership's leading story says more bloodshed in Benue, Plateau as gunmen kill 55. More bloodshed in Benue, Plateau as gunmen kill 55. Attacks premeditated. Don't sleep with two eyes closed, says Governor Motuan. Plateau group accuses military. Northern leaders proffer solutions. Headline story today on leadership. Other story says, no plan to relocate federal capital to Lagos presidency. Intercity transport fare rose 86.40% in December, according to NBS, that is National Bureau of Statistics. Mother Chidima confessed to spiking Atagas drinks, police. AFCON, Odegbami Lawa caution Eagles against Cameroon. Lamata, Money Point commend leadership for awards, and that story has the photos on the cover of leadership. We have the vice chairman leadership group limited, Michael Kwe, representing leadership public service of the year award nomination letters to the managing director Lamata, engineer Bibola Akinagbo, at Lamata's head office Lagos yesterday. And of course with them is director leadership group Abraham Dazaya. On the right we have the Fintech Company of the Year award nomination letter to the Vice President Enterprises Money Point Incorporated, Ifeanyi Duru, during leadership management's visit to Money Point office in Lagos yesterday. We move ahead to the ones above the masthead. Afinifere removes Ayo Adebanjo as leader. Olaide Adelami emerges Ondo deputy governor. These are the headline stories today on leadership. We move to the page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. And of course, our stand today is on crisis in Plateau Assembly calls for reforms. Crisis in Plateau Assembly calls for reforms. The editorial on leadership today, Thursday, January 25, 2024. The back page of the paper is being blunt with Moazu Elize, and he's writing on the clear and present danger called nomad vigilante. The clear and present danger called nomad vigilante. Find out what his column is all about today, Thursday, January 25, 2023. For more, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, Vanguard newspaper is next. Vanguard story paper also has same gory tales from Plateau and Benue, and it says Plateau government defy curfew, kill over 30, raise houses. Plateau government defy curfew, kill over 30, raise houses. Group alleges compromise by security agencies. Ending security are cardinal agenda, Sheikh Sima. Besides that, we have money laundering charge. Obiano pleads not guilty, gets bail. Of course, the picture of Obiano, the former governor of Anambra State, is solely on the cover of Vanguard. Ex-governor Obiano in court. And we have no plan to move federal capital to Lagos presidency. Relief coming with more forests, reduce inflation. CBN and ESG, that is National Economic Summit Group. Roads, federal government meets Elumelu, Dangote orders on PPP. And in sports, AFCON 2023, Cameroon's game with Eagles will be our easiest match. Odegbami. So study stories above the masthead. Price of rice up 81% in 1 year. Onions rise 123%. Edo Governor poll, Ighodalo vows to tackle poverty orders. Izeyamu Imuse join race. Nasarawa airstrike victims still awaiting justice 1 year after Amnesty International. Mainstream takes over $1.3 billion Zugeru power plant. Federal government's revenue trapped in commercial banks, ROMAFC. For more, log on to the website of Vanguard, even as we move to Daily Sun. Daily Sun has similar Plateau horror story, and it says more horror in Plateau State. Gunmen evade Magu again, kill 30 despite curfew in place. Father 4 children among the dead. Underneath that, we have no plan to relocate federal capital to Lagos presidency. 4.8 billion naira fraud. EFCC arraigns ex-Anambra governor Obiano. Insecurity. UN report unveils 24 terrorist cells in Katsina, names their leader. IPOB replies Buhari over Kano. Kidnapping. Wike sanctions establishment of vigilance groups in FCT. Naira undervalued, says CBN governor, vows to crash inflation to 21%. PPP key to bridging infrastructure gap, says Umahi. Abga crisis, Njoku accuses INEC chair of contempt of court. And of course, we move to the story just beside the masthead of Daily Sun. 7.2 million children accessing education in Nigeria's IDP camps. UNICEF advocates stronger safety measures in schools. So that is all on Daily Sun newspapers headline stories. For more, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. We move to the next paper on our menu, and that is The Guardian. Guardian's headline story says 1999 constitutions wear and tear. Endless reviews, amendments cost National Assembly 1 billion naira yearly. I'll take that headline story once again. 1999 constitutions wear and tear. Endless reviews, amendments cost National Assembly 1 billion naira yearly. Time to revamp Nigeria's criminal justice system. That's the editorial on The Guardian, and of course it's on page 12 of the paper. Abubakar Shetima provides solutions to insecurity. CBN targets 21.4% inflation, says Naira is undervalued. Afenifere sacks Adebanjo as acting leader, abrogates deputy leader position. Ayedatiwa Jezo for Guba race, nominates Akeredelu's kinsman as deputy. 30 people killed in Plateau amid curfew imposed on Magu Council. Special economic zones attract over $66 billion FDIs, 620 billion naira domestic investments. These are the headline stories on The Guardian. For more, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move to the last paper on our menu, The Punch. The Punch has forest scandal. EFCC probes $347 billion funds, summons foreign firms. Forest scandal. EFCC probes $347 billion funds, summons foreign firms. Industrial companies, banks get lion's share under Emefiele. Social services receive least forest allocation. Anti-corruption agency deepens forest scandal probe. Detectives may grieve 5 foreign companies next week. Underneath that, we have 4 billion naira theft. EFCC lines up 15 witnesses against Obiano, and of course we also have the picture of the ex-Anambra governor Obiano on the cover, and as he was being taken to the court yesterday. Plateau wants troops probed as gunmen kill 30. Chinese national pleas for mercy over guest friends killing in Kano. NEMA rescues 975 Nigerians stranded in Niger. PDP Labour Party asks questions on Tinubu's France private visit. FROS projects 19 trillion naira revenue in 2024. CBN fund relocation. Presidency orders tackle Gunmen. These are the headline stories on The Punch today, Thursday, January 25, 2024. For more, log on to the website of the Punch newspaper. Which brings us to the end of this first half of the program, where we review front headline stories. However, the second segment of the show is coming with our guest already in the house. Don't go away, stay tuned.
Leadership Team. Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
Welcome back to the second segment of the show. As you can see, I have my Thursday guest in the house, the public affairs analyst, a political economist, Olamilekan Adebolare. You're welcome to the program.
Thanks.
And of course, my name remains Winifred Ugbebo, your host of the program. Yes, we are looking at same insecurity issues, leadership living story today, as well as Vanguard and Daily Sun House story on the mayhem in Plateau State and of course also in Benue. More bloodshed in Benue, Plateau as government kill 55. This on the backdrop of the fact that the governor did declare curfew in place in Mangu local government. What happened?
I think when we heard the news about coffee being declared, the first question that comes to my mind was that how much of intelligence was taken to be able to declare the coffee?
Was security in place?
Exactly, because you just declare coffee and
nobody should move around.
And you know, it reached my imagination that for now, I mean, up to date, the Governor Mafong have not really understood how you're going to tackle the security challenge in Plateau State. And he doesn't have any excuse. He doesn't have to point and pointing finger at the federal government. But you need to think genuinely how to tackle, because this is a governor. There's no more. There's no more politicking around. His nomination, his victory, whatever. Now it's time for him to work. I said something yesterday on the sister station. I said, for me, the people of Plateau, particularly people in that local government, need to re-examine themselves, because this kind of attack could be committed by people within that same local government. How could we declare coffee and something like that happen? And according to the story that we are hearing, that the people that were killed, they trace them to a particular location. So you ask yourself, how did they trace them to that particular location? That means somebody within is giving information out to the killers that's carrying all those.
However, like I mentioned earlier, when you declare curfew, at least there should be security to ensure compliance with the curfew imposed in a certain area. Is it that there were no security? Because the writer on Vanguard's living story, still on this same Plateau issue, says group alleges compromise by security agencies. And don't forget, that was what happened during that New Year killings, where women protested naked, that it was security that was causing the mayhem. That
mean for me, with all these things that is happening, if the Nigerian security, particularly federal military police, cannot help the state governor should think of his thinking
outside the box.
Yes, and begin to help himself, because we have seen in other states that the state governors will just go their way and forget about army, soldier, and think of how properly they can handle this situation. But if you continue to say federal government, he has over 200 billion naira budget for 2024. The security vote in that amount alone is close to 60 billion that is going to spend on security, because I checked the budget of Plateau State. So what will you be using the money for? And one thing that I've discovered is that when there is insecurity in a particular state, it gives opportunity for the people in power, the politicians, to loot the state resources. Because they will not do anything. A case in point is in Benue State. That all throughout his 8 years, 5 kilometers road, this guy did not build in Benue State. But he made away with all the money that he can make away. Now nobody is talking about. Now they're now putting the blame on the new government. Mufwang must be able to put up his thinking cap and see how he can help his people.
Because that's what is played out during the former his predecessor's time. That's Lalong, because it was also stories of insecurity. And what also beats my imagination is the fact that people are not thinking actually out of the box, like you pointed out. Because when this Plateau on happened, I was like, I hope Benue will be on the alert, because this time around, now that they have done carried it, that they are going to move to Benue. And unfortunately, they didn't do that, because leadership also included that key 55 both in Benue and Plateau communities.
The Benue, there's a new narrative around the Benue because most of us have been able to understand it is not just areas farmers clashes, but communal clashes is also happening. between two communities, they are trying to take over a particular farmland among themselves. Just that we are not focusing attention on how the people themselves are committing this crime. For instance, in part of Benue, there was a militia group that was terrorizing the state. If you remember the Ghana incident, and who empowered Ghana to become so powerful to the point that it was not terrorizing. So when that Ghana incident happened, when he was killed, at the end of the day, his group split into different groups.
The Ghana's one, it would have been a difficult one for the government to tackle.
Exactly.
Even for the fact that they lured him out under force, to come and sign.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, now his members of his group have now split into different groups. So they are looking for opportunity to also control different territory on their own, because those guys, they are not doing it, they are not producing anything. They only look for where they can go and cheaply take things out, and that's what is happening. But for the Benue, I believe that communal clashes is also doing the headlong of havoc that's been committed there. Then we hope that the Plateau will be solved. Since 2001, Plateau has been on this kind of crisis, and nobody has been able to find any lasting solution. Dario time, even the other man that came in, Jonah. Although Jonah owned, there was a little relative peace, because he was able to tackle it, because he used local intelligence to address it. He was not waiting for federal government to do anything.
There was relative peace under
Jonah. So what will more fun? It will now be saying federal government, and this narrative they'll be saying they are trying to take our land. Good, we know that it is about land, the resources of the land. That's what everybody is fighting for. But you as a governor, take initiative.
So what are you expecting him to do? How do they find lasting solution to the plan?
The first thing is that you go fire to fire with them. The people that you got the wallet, we know the people. We know the people, but you cannot go after them. Go after them, bring them in, because one of the issues is that when they go after the people, bring the people. Our justice system is very slow in addressing, and that's why this narrative about it is reprisal attack. At the end of the day, you discover that it is reprisal attack, and they kill our family, they kill our brother. Now we are carrying out the same reprisal attack. Then when they do that, the people that have been doing it, how come we have not used the justice system to make sure that we punish everybody and punish them to the lasting, to bring out the lasting solution?
Remember the chief of defense staff during his submissions in National Assembly raised this issue that you just said, that the justice system has not helped them in their fight against insurgency, and that most of these people, when you take them to court, the court grants them bail. Even just before they leave the court, they are already free. And in most instances, the judge gives them just a little punishment or no. And most of them are still awaiting trial, and right where they are awaiting trial in the prisons, they are sending out, they are also carrying out atrocities. So what do you think can be done? It's our justices, are they listening in? What can be done to revamp or reform the justice system so that justice can be seen to be fast and delivered?
I'm not in support of it. We have been reforming the justice system 3 times since 1999 to date. What have we gotten? The issue is this: there is a politicization about the justice system in Nigeria. Those people that were arrested for any kind of crime committed like this, they politicize the issue. Then before you know, they bring that sentiment of it was because they killed our people. That's why they are going back. And that's what happened. Before you know it, they will tender all this before the court. And you now see another sentiment attached to it, that it was the wrong people they arrest. Like these 150 people that was killed during that, they have arrested some people. Do you know the story that is going around it? That they are wrong people. That I was like, they arrested. Allow the justice system to prevail on this matter. They say no, the real people have not been arrested, and I say, who are now the real people? You now become a confused. And by the time they bring this kind of things to the court, it becomes a challenge. Look at what happened in those states.
I beg to differ a little, in the sense that when we talk about reformation of the justice system, you see that there are so many people awaiting trial at prisons or correction centers, as the name, since the name has changed. There are so many awaiting trials that have not even heard their cases, and this is contributing to the congestion of our corrections facilities.
Exactly. So what are we? Another issue is when we say we should reform it. Now, who are we reforming within the line of this justice system? The police, the correctional service, the judge, and the lawyers. These are the 4 categories. Now, we have done a lot in this regard. The police have been told that any case that has to do with minor issues, don't go and throw somebody in correctional services. If it has to be with bail, let that person receive bail and go. And I think the state government have already introduced this also, to the point that most time when they see that kind of cases, they bring it up and they set them free. Cases of bail of 5,000, 10,000, somebody that stole tomato
during Christmas
period. So what we need to do is to to process, I mean, to make the process to be more fast, to fast track it in a way that it shouldn't wait until after 3-4 months. If it is monthly, the commissioner of justice in that state should be able to. And most of the times when we talk about this prison congestion, it is most of the crime committed in state, not at the federal level. That's why I see that most of those inmates are mostly people who are supposed to be treated or prosecuted by the state government, but they don't do it. They will just leave it like that. They only come during Christmas or New Year and begin to set them free. But what we are talking about, let them make it so fast that every month, at least the commissioner of justice go to the prison, bring out these people, check their profile. Is it 5,000 naira? You stole tomato, you stole shoe, you collect some money back. They can set you free or give you what they call a community service work to go and do. So they're packing everybody to the prison. So why I'm saying that I'm a little bit, skeptical about reform is that it will consume some money that the other money we have spent, we have not seen the result of it. I don't know, they will bring a lot of people together, they will begin to talk workshop, and at the end of the day, they will still come back to the same issue that the police should be reformed, the judicial service should be reformed, and the correctional service should be reformed. They will now, they may even suggest new names. You get it? And then
they are already changed.
They are changed.
That is how it changed to correction from prison.
I will not still get it. So the issue is that the state government should be more active when it comes to carrying out justice in terms of anything that has to do with criminal activities.
I agree with you, because some state government, they refuse to sign the death penalty for those they're supposed to that have been sentenced to death. Why is this so? Why is it that they have these? They don't want to be the ones that hastening somebody's death or what?
Or Oshomole did it.
Yes.
So why is anybody?
Oshomole did it, but since Oshomole did it, no state government.
But has anybody crucified Oshomole for it? The issue is that there is also an international conspiracy about against death penalty.
Not really much. I think it's only from UK alone. Remember when Oshomole signed that death penalty and UK raised this anger is against Oshomole, and of course Oshomole answered them appropriately.
Definitely. But the issue is that we have people who are also against it in our own clan here, who stood against it, who know that international donors and agencies are supporting them to stood against the government not to go. Why do you think that when the Terrorist Act was passed, the clause that's supposed to bring about death penalty, capital punishment was removed? Because there was a pressure on the National Assembly that they should not sign it. That they now give National Assembly condition. If you are going to put death penalty on senator, put it off on capital corruption. And they now say, okay, if that is the case, let us quickly remove it and expunge it. So that's what I'm saying. So
you like what you just mentioned, those that have just trivial cases should be settled. Then what other means? Because we really need to decongest the correctional centers.
I think the federal government has started about 80,000 of them are going to be set free. And government is going to spend about 400 million naira. I think they started in Zimbabwe or Benue prison. They started after I released this, they gave 10,000 naira to go home. So we hope that it can spread across. Although with the challenge that this current minister is, the Minister of Interior is facing, maybe he will be very skeptical not to go and touch anything money, so that his name will not enter media again that he's using money for some frivolous things. So for me, the state government, the Commissioner of Justice at the state level, the prosecutor, there's one thing that Lagos State did that I'm so proud of. They create about 3 departments to handle that. If you go to court, if you are someone that a criminal now, if you don't have a lawyer, they will provide lawyer for you. But in some states they don't do it. No state, national state here, they will never do it. Even FCT said they are guilty of that. Talk less of other states around. You don't, and that's what they're supposed to do. By the time they provide lawyer for that, state prosecutor will help you out through leniency from the judge. They can give you community service work to go and do, and the prison will be decongested. But when we now pack everybody because of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 naira pay, they cannot meet up, and they will be there, and they are eating people.
Or even the innocent ones that were just randomly picked up.
Exactly, and they will put them there, and
they'll put them there because they are unable to pay
the bill. The bill, I mean. Now, the another challenge is the Nigerian police. Police doesn't have that efficiency in terms of prosecuting cases. If you know that you cannot push case forward, why take it to court? You get, or you just hand it over to the state, but the police want to take over and do it. And most of the cases that the police put forward are minor cases like picking pocket and the rest of them, which now make the prison to be congested.
But is it not the police that actually pushes case forward?
When they take it to court, they go back. That's when you'll be hearing case file missed. That's when you'll be hearing if they don't have fuel money to put in their vehicle to go to the court. That's why they will tell you that the policeman, the prosecutor is sick. And most times, they don't have competent lawyer to go and prosecute the case. Most times, those cases will be overtaken by other events that will give the policeman more money.
But it's actually not the police, if we have to look at it. It's the state prosecutor.
True, but do they hand over the case to the state prosecutor? And if they do, some states are so careless about it.
That they don't
That's why I
really
gave
care.
the example of Lagos. The moment there is this case
Yes,
that they will
Lagos
take it
laws
over.
they are proactive.
They will take it
Lagos,
over. But other states need to learn from this so that we can really help the justice system.
we really need to work on these killings, incessant killings in some of these our states across the country. And the constitution that is supposed to do that, just like what the Guardian is leading with, is not effective enough. Guardian's headline story says 1999 constitutions wear and tear, endless reviews, amendments cost National Assembly 1 billion naira yearly. And of course, year in, year out, they keep projecting 1 billion naira for constitution review. And at the end of the day, nothing much is done. So what can actually be done? Because there's so much area, sectors, all that, so that needs amendment. Talking about the third tier of government, local government independence.
Particularly, it is important. 1 billion every year for 24 years that we have had democracy.
It's 24 billion.
24 billion. And the reason is that let's first criticize.
It has been an exercise in futility.
It is not exercise in futility to them. It is exercise to put something in their pocket. Because the chairman of that constitutional review committee, they know what they are getting, both the Senate and the House of Reps. Now, it is we that are seeing it. And those ethnic political jingoists who normally agitate for this constitutional review, they also know what they get because they will organize town hall meeting in various zones of the country. And those people that will be coming, they will give them money. I'm not talking of journalists. The other people that will be saying we represent, they will give them money to. They will give them money. So it's an opportunity to also oil other people's hands.
But 2 years ago, we actually saw some state governments actively participating when it came to their state. But how come at the end of the day, we didn't see much of it reflected in the amendments? Because
there was the other political atmosphere overtake the issue of constitutional review. Talk about 2022 to 2023 because of the election. The results would have been more effective if there was no election coming towards that period. But because of the election coming, everybody now quickly went back to their share and said, if you push this thing too much, I may lose my ticket too. So people will quickly rethink. But I believe that if we can focus it between now and next year, we can have a better result. Although there have been an achievement so far, but the achievement was a blockage in the sense that the implementation of some of those those resolution was not taken seriously because some people thought that if it is taken seriously, it will affect them, particularly financial autonomy for local government.
Yes.
Which is very important. But you see, the one I got so impressed about was the financial autonomy for state judiciary service.
Yes.
That one was fantastic. It was taken and they take it very seriously. I just hope that the state government
will follow. Of course, the president then, Buhari, was actually interested.
Very well on it.
But however, my question is, how can we actually divorce the president from this constitutional review amendment? Because we had a situation whereby Buhari said no to state police and the National Assembly dropped it. It was not even debated because the president said no to state police. So how can we separate the president from constitutional amendment?
It is going to be very difficult because of the kind of process of constitutional practice. It is still based on assent.
But the president only has his tenure. So after his tenure, what happens? Must it be all about the president?
No, the thing is that the power vested on him in constitution has already made it so. Unless we review that aspect, that will not say no, it's going to be that's why people are saying let us have referendum. If referendum is there, we don't need assent of the president in anything. We don't even need his veto power. Once the people say yes to state police, it is done. All the states will just put their mechanism and begin to establish their state police. But as long as the president will still sign, as long as it will still follow, it is not even the president it's not even the president own that is my challenge. It is the state house of assembly where we have major challenge. Even if Buhari have said yes to state police and all the 36 state house of assembly, or let's say 24 of them say no, they are not interested in it. What do you think?
But immediately when he said no to state police, it was not longer part of what was going to be debated.
Because earlier before that, we have been having issue with state assembly applauding and accepting state police. Before Buhari came to power, it has always been that the state house of assembly, through their governor, they will kick against it, and through their state architects in terms of the political elite in their state also kick against it. But we also understand the fear of certain individuals about state police, so that the government in power will not use it
against. The fear is not founded.
Exactly. So
the excesses of
some governors and some elite in the state. So that has been the issue. But if we now discover that state police will help us and can be curtailed as a result of issues in the politics, we can go for it. But the fear will still be there. so that it will not be used against me.
Now, with these incessant insecurity issues we are having in the country, all across the country, no state is spared. So, what is your view on having state police?
I think before the state police come on board, what else can we do to address this issue? I've think over it and I say governors can engage private investigators to help them out on some of these issues. There are private investigators who understand security issues around Nigeria. You can engage them. They will get you fine report on the best solutions to the problem. Then what about NIPS in Kuru, in Jos? We have sent a lot of intelligent individuals who have come up with resolution, report solutions to some of these security problems. The governor can pick it up and use it to amend or address some of the challenges in the state.
But the government, even when the investigations are carried out, it's handed over to government. As long as the government does not have control over security issues, there's still little the governor can do.
There is this issue. We should not say governor doesn't have
the governor
control.
Hands it over to CP. CP will now get how to get clearance from the IGP.
No, not that level. What
about having issue of having maybe vigilante? Because we have Amoteku. Don't forget that at the beginning, Fulani herdsmen of Buwan was actually already running amok in the southwest.
Exactly. And how did Akeredolu handle them?
Amoteku was able to curtail it.
Exactly. To everything. Why? Because they think out of the box. They apply their own local intelligence to address the issue. They avoid the what do we normally say, the attack from the federal level, where the federal, you know what was happening between NSA and the Akeredolu there, that you cannot acquire guns, you cannot do this. He just left them and focus on what it, because it is his people that is dying, and he has to focus on it. How did Ogun State was able to handle their own insecurity challenges? How is Lagos doing their own? How is other states? How is Enugu doing their own? How is Hope Ozoduma in Imo State is doing his own? How was what's his name? Wike, when he was governor of Rivers State, was able to handle insecurity? Even Diri in Bayelsa, how did they one thing, if we put our focus and the federal government is controlling the police and the army, you will just be left dumb. You will not do anything. Think intelligently about what your people can do against this insecurity, and to go a long way, and you solve the problem. But begin to push the blame, and federal government is doing this. Even Tom that we are saying that he didn't do anything. And when he discovered that the federal government was against it, he used internal machinery of the state to handle some of those challenges, and at least got the result. What about Yaya Bello? Yaya Bello was even the most fantastic governor that tried and put this Kene Abuja road. There was a time you can't pass there. Yes. What did he do? The first thing he did was that he cleared the bush side of the road 100 meters before the main road. He cleared it. You can be seen inside. Then he empowered the vigilante in the state. He also empowered the police. So Governor Mufang of Plateau State can take initiative of such and help his people, particularly using his people as intelligence source to crapple down some of these bad people in the state.
Thank you so much. Now, lastly, we are looking at the Punch newspaper. Headline story today says forest scandal. EFCC throws 375 billion pounds fund summons foreign firms. It was actually a story that broke yesterday. I saw the story. I'm like, can EFCC actually do just that? Can it go far in probing these foreign firms? Well, it's not just to announce to the media this is what we are going to do, but how ready it is to go deeper and probe these foreign firms and see to its actual prosecution.
They will come against EFCC and say now they want to chase out foreign investors out of Nigeria. That is the first thing. A counter media attack will be that with this kind of thing, foreign businesses people will cease to come to Nigeria. But people will fail to understand the problem that this has caused us.
And you know, Olamilekan, this is what you have always said time and time again. Even the last time you were here on the program, it's industrial companies. You said get lion's share under Emefiele.
Exactly.
And you know,
I've always emphasized that.
Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, no, they are the ones that actually the cause of this.
Because at the end of the day, when they collect the money, they are not using it. That's it. So why would it? For me, and let's first address this in the sense that I love the way Punch put it, but EFCC should be ready for a counter attack from these people because they will come against them hardly. That now they want EFCC want to with this kind of probe. EFCC want to chase out foreign direct investors from countries. Exactly. But we are forgetting that some of them are bad eggs. They have bad eggs among them that is causing us problems. How could Emefiele be releasing forex to these guys? Even up to today, they are still releasing for them. But what do you do with the money?
And the same people, my MAN will still be the one to cry that they don't have enough forex and there's no ease of doing business. The country is running down there. So
like the one that just said they want to start producing. What's their name? This company that said they want to leave now. I've forgotten
the
their
one in
Lagos. One of them that is producing detergent at the restaurant said they want to leave Nigeria. Maybe they have already left already. So
P&G.
no P&G. There's another one that just announced his exit from Nigeria recently. They are the one producer of Omo and the rest of them. So it's P&G. Now what I'm trying to point out is that EFC just need to be very careful. Well, EFC just need to be very careful. But it is a necessity that will treat this particular issue. If not, we'll continue to have problem in our forex market, and people will begin to get away with it. And but EFC should not forget that the same people that are getting these people have a link to the political structure.
Yes,
they have a link to the political elite. They have a way of doing their own internal mechanism of friendship and relationship that help them to be able to get, because they won't have gotten this kind of opportunity with CBN if they don't have a link with the political structure of Nigeria. Yes. So that's just what I have to say.
Now going forward, what can be done? Because we just have to preempt or these forex manipulations in future. What can be done?
The first answer is this: let us begin to publish people that are collecting it. Let us know, because right now they are saying we don't know the companies. We get it, but there was a time CBN was publishing the names of people collecting forex from them. Amefele, but it started early, but later it changed. It derailed from it. So we need to have that kind of processes coming back. Then another issue is this: all these companies buying machines, buying spare parts, they should begin to think of local research that will help them to solve some of these problems. If not, this is how we continue to fit our remittances that we have gathered through our external reserve and begin to give it to people that will begin to make money from it. And that's why this current CBN government say Naira is undervalued. Because he knows that at the end of the day, people are just making mess of the Naira that we have.
Thank you so much, Olamide. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to having you next time on Thursday on the same program. Well, viewers, this is where we end today's Thursday show inside Nigeria. I had the pleasure of having a company, Olamide Adebolari, a political economist. My name is Winnie Fredegabo. Don't forget, we have news coming up at noon. You just log in. Till I come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. See you then. Bye.
Thank you for watching the show and advice. Please contact 080 3688